you find yourself in a remote area, in enemy territory, days from friendly forces. You have no supplies. Your mission suddenly has changed to survival and evasion from hostile forces. No soldier is immune from being in a survival and evasion situation. There are many things that can determine whether you will live or die. Water, food, shelter, injury. But the most important factor in surviving in the wilderness is your will to live. Your desire to survive can overcome the discomforts and fear of even the most difficult conditions. Psychological defeat will kill you long before your body succumbs to the elements. There is a survival attitude, and it can make or break you. From the start, hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Immediately size up your situation. Are there injuries to be treated? What equipment do you have? Where are you? And where are you going? Survival is a very stressful experience. Understanding the physical, mental, and emotional stresses that can destroy your will to live will help you overcome them. When you have sized up your situation, plan your survival strategy. Planning helps you get your situation under control. In hostile territory, every move you make must be planned to conceal your presence from the enemy. Security is always your top priority. Fear is natural in a survival situation. Injury and death are real possibilities, especially in hostile territory. Fear is healthy. It makes you cautious and keeps you from making reckless moves. But fear that turns to panic can kill you, especially when you're alone. Control panic immediately. Your survival depends on it. Panic keeps you from making good decisions. It can destroy your will to live. Your personality will be critical to your survival. How do you react to adversity? Can you look beyond immediate discomfort and focus on your goal of surviving? Can you keep going when things seem intolerable? Survival stresses can test even the strongest personalities. Well-trained soldiers have died because they couldn't withstand the mental and emotional stresses of survival. In a survival situation, your most important personality trait will be your ability to keep going under difficult conditions. Understand from the start that discomfort will not kill you. However, the psychological effects of discomfort can get the best of you if you let them. The desire for comfort must be forgotten in a survival situation, particularly when you're evading hostile forces. 8 major factors can seriously affect your will to survive if you let them. They can overwhelm you to the point that you give up. By recognizing the 8 enemies of survival, you can begin to control them. Pain is an enemy of survival. Pain itself is not harmful, but it can make you so uncomfortable your will to survive will erode. Understand the source of the pain and treat what you can. Then recognize that you can tolerate the pain. Taking pride in your ability to withstand pain will help you tolerate it. Thirst and dehydration can weaken you physically and mentally. Dehydration can erode your will to live and, if it becomes serious enough, can kill you. An important rule is to drink when you can. Conserve sweat, not water. Hunger can seriously affect your morale. The physical effects of hunger are lack of energy and weakness. Prolonged time without food can lead to starvation. The psychological effects of food deprivation can be just as serious. Adult humans can survive without food for up to a month, but not eating for several days can weaken you to the point that you want to give up. Understanding that you can survive on only a little food will help you to tolerate hunger. Fatigue is a powerful enemy of survival. It can lead to mental mistakes and carelessness. Many things can cause fatigue: overexertion, hopelessness, boredom, and frustration. Pinpoint the cause of fatigue and correct it. Cut back on activity or change your activity to relieve boredom. Heat and cold are strong enemies of survival. Heat weakens your body, but you can acclimate to heat. In extreme heat, seek shade and move only at night. Drink as much water as you can. Cold can weaken your willpower and your reasoning ability. Extreme cold can kill. Find ways to combat cold before it threatens your survival. Boredom can also affect your will to live. It can make you impatient and lead to careless actions. A good survival plan will help you relieve boredom. Keep sight of your goal to survive, and boredom will not get the best of you. Loneliness can weaken your will to survive. Isolation can lead to despair and helplessness. You can combat the feelings of isolation. Focus on living. Becoming self-sufficient in your survival will help overcome loneliness. One enemy of survival can lead to others. Be alert to the stresses of survival and combat them early. A sign that stress is affecting the will to live is a passive reaction and withdrawal from activity and from other people. If you or one of your party becomes passive, showing no interest in what needs to be done, take steps immediately to reverse the process. You can overcome the psychological, emotional, and physical stresses that you face in a survival situation. The key word, survival, contains the tactics to use in fighting the enemies of survival. Size up your situation. Undue haste makes waste. Remember where you are. Vanquish fear and panic. Improvise. Value living. Act like the natives. And learn basic survival skills. Constantly size up your situation. Continue to check your equipment, your water supply, and your surroundings. Follow your plan, but be ready to make adjustments as your situation changes. A change in weather may alter your shelter plans. An injury may change your movement plans. Enemy presence could mean changing your route or suddenly leaving your hide site. Security must be your first priority. When you're under the kind of stresses you encounter in a survival situation, it's easy to think that any action is better than doing nothing. But acting in haste leads to carelessness. You can lose equipment, suffer injury, get off your route, or reveal yourself to the enemy. Plan each move, even if enemy presence forces you to react quickly. Plan where you are moving and why. Knowing where you are and how your location relates to the surrounding terrain is a basic principle every soldier should follow. Guard against the natural tendency to let someone else do all the navigating when you are not in charge. Constantly orient yourself. Always know who has the map and compass. Know where you are in relation to your last known location, friendly forces and enemy forces. Fear and panic will be your greatest enemies. Knowing what to do in a survival situation will help you control panic. You will gain self-confidence knowing that you can take care of yourself under stressful survival conditions. Be prepared to control the panic of others in the group. One person who gives in to panic can put everyone in jeopardy. Teach others survival skills. You'll increase their confidence and improve the survival odds of the whole group. Be ready to improvise. Americans are so used to having everything readily available, we don't often have to improvise in our daily lives. But when you must survive with little or no equipment, you will have to improvise to get many of the things we take for granted: shelter, water, and food. Your imagination could save your life. When improvising, however, don't forget that security is still your top priority. The key to survival is to value living. People in survival situations have made terrible mistakes, such as moving in the hot sun of the desert, but their desire to live was so strong, they survived. Other people equipped with skills have died simply because they gave up mentally and emotionally. Before you find yourself in a survival situation, observe the people in the area. What do they eat? What do they use for shelter, for heat? Where do they find water? What animals are in the area? Animal life can give you clues to survival, but be careful in using animals to guide you. They can eat some plants and insects that are harmful to humans. Also, the reactions of animals can reveal your presence to the enemy. In many survival situations, not knowing basic survival skills for the terrain can kill you. If you don't know how to find water in the desert or shelter in extreme cold, your chances of surviving these environments are slim. Knowing survival skills increases your confidence and will reduce panic. The time to learn basic survival skills is now, before you find yourself in a survival situation. They could save your life. The psychological and physical stresses of a survival situation are constant. They can change or intensify. Things will go wrong. You must constantly be aware of your psychological state and of the moods of the people with you. The will to live can falter even when things seem to be going well. Panic can recur, and frustration and anger can surface quickly. The stresses of survival can produce thoughts and emotions that can weaken your will to survive. Your will to live will be your most important ally in any survival situation. Remember the key word, survival. It contains the keys to combating the enemies of survival and maintaining your will to live. Your will to live can pull you through even the most difficult, uncomfortable, and frightening survival and evasion experiences. Maintaining a strong will to live could mean the difference between life and death.